Did anyone actually watch that Met Gala? I know it's mainly a girl thing. Probably totally a girl thing. I don't think many men watch it. I uh I just want to make note of the word creepy. And I guess it might have started with Michael Jackson, who's been in the news too. I don't know when I was a child that I ever found the people on TV to be creepy. And as things get stranger and time sort of speeds up or winds down or we go back in time as things sort of turn, I find more and more that it's genuinely a creepy thing to witness the Met Gala. It's very creepy. These people creep me out. It's a creepy bunch of people. Emma Chamberlain, is that an it girl? Remember the one who dated Alex Turner? What was her name? The Asian girl. What was her name? Alex Turner. Alexa Chung. These it girls. Yeah, I mean that's not creepy. Like it's just I don't know, the detachment. I guess if you could say the internet has done something, it's let the mass media and the establishment media, the news, not only the newspaper, the magazines like Vogue, but they've always been like that. But like the CBS's, the Fox's, I don't know who exactly, but maybe I'm just making it up. But if everybody's in a silo, is what I'm saying, then nobody needs to pander to each other. So, maybe the mass media is the craziest thing you'll ever see now. Like the local news trying to cover on like I saw KROQ in Albuquerque trying to cover going to the Zorro Ranch, and I'm like, what is this? Like what am I watching, And it's like local mass media being accessible in every market via YouTube is like an incredible post 2010 phenomena that is awesome at times. I saw something about if you look up Pineville, Louisiana, there was deer being served at a Chinese restaurant. They had cut up a deer. Allegedly, it was served. It was placed in the fridge, definitely, though. And you could just find crazy stuff. So that's what I mean when I say I have a theory of mind and a theory of the world that actually local news is going to get a lot more legitimate and interesting over the next 100 years because the lack of truth, objective truth, means only local news can be trusted. Even then, it's not very trusted, but it's likely more trustworthy than national news. But the national news, that's what I'm saying. It's gotten uncanny. Like, okay, take for example, so the Met Gala, I mean, that's what I mean. It's so obvious and it's so done to death that, like, why even beat a dead horse? Like, yeah, they dress up in costumes and they flaunt their wealth and, it's all very sickening. And, yeah, but the thing is, there's also just like a hatred for the fat and the ugly everywhere and the old in a way. But the older, that's a... Okay, the specific thing I'm thinking of is David Murr, okay? David Murr. Like, I don't know. I guess the term metrosexual used to be used. I guess people have made that passé, but it's not even the metrosexual aspect. It's like the American Psycho aspect of a David Murr. And just like the perfection of individuals is uncanny, like Trump's obsession with staying young, and the perfection of like a clavicular and all that. It's creepy. The people in charge of things. Trump is very creepy. He's a very creepy person, and all this stuff with Epstein. That's what I mean. The Epstein thing is the biggest thing, where it's all so creepy. Like, I am genuinely, and I guess this is kind of how I've always felt like the U.S. is a lot like Russia. In reality, it just pretends it's not. Like, you kind of just have a really beaten down people ruled now by a few people, and it's like the czar and all that. It's brutal. It's a brutal country, but it's also kind of weird. Like, Russians are known for being kind of weird and creepy, right? Like you would be creeped out by Vladimir Putin. You'd be like, oh God, did he spike my drink? Oh God, am I going to get like a neurotoxin that was tested on rats? Like a rat poison toxin placed in my pierogi tonight, like it's creepy stuff. Like it's a sinister, creepy vibe. And I used to not get that in this country. I'm just thinking of like, compare it David Murr, who's like clearly put there to look good, right? And talk very plainly. And I don't know, there's no warmth to these people. Like, I'm thinking of a Walter Cronkite. Is this what conservatism is? You just say the past was always better? I don't think the past was always better, though. I mean, was broadcasting and mass media a good thing if Bill Clinton was, flying out there with Jeffrey in 1990? Clearly, there was a lot of stuff. Honestly, what it is they kept the country together over the past 50 years through broadcasting while sinister stuff was happening. And I'm not sure if that was good or bad at this point. Because, yes, Jeffrey Epstein was abducting children in Florida. But also, I didn't know about it, and everybody else didn't know about it. And it didn't affect me, right? And I got to live my life in peace. Because the broadcasting media... There's a video of the lady from NBC, and she's very mad. She's like, I had the story on Epstein ready to go, and they told me not to do it. And I'm like, wow, that's pretty crazy stuff, And it's like, well, Epstein, broadcasting and public sort of mind control and homeostasis of opinion, I don't think anything could have functioned in 1960. I mean, I know there might have been less immigration, there might have been less whatever's screwing up the economy anymore. It might have been less of a, less people in general, less degree holders, less of a gum work, less debt, all that stuff. I think the internet still would have destroyed everything. It still would have destroyed everything. In any era I was dropped into. Anyway, but yeah, David Murr, I'm getting off topic. I'm trying to stay on topic. David Murr and the Met Gala and Emma Chamberlain and Alexa Chung. I don't think anybody said the name Alexa Chung in like 20 years, so here I go. Yeah, I mean, I thought these people were cool, I wanted to be one of these people. This is all a product of my own resentment, okay? I am Michael Savage who hung out with Allen Ginsberg, okay? That's legitimately what I am. So I'm just going to tell my story. And yeah, it's quite a story. So, yeah, Alexa Chung. I mean, I've been to these events. I met these people. It's the thing about competitive environments, and I guess I'll just speak from experiences. I went to a very prestigious college where I met a lot of very prestigious people. And I saw the ins and outs of the entertainment industry. And I saw the ins and outs. I met some very successful people in entertainment, okay? And I met a lot of so-called elites. And I think the thing that a lot of these sort of outside types to that stuff, people haven't seen that up close. The constant sizing up is sort of a weird thing. And it's they say it's low trust or whatever, and it very much is. Actually, RFK said this: it's socialism for the rich and brutal capitalism for the poor. It's kind of like watching sports. Like, if you're working at the Amazon factory, your life is a lot like a freaking hockey game, right? You wake up, you put on your skates, you grind your body into a wall for 10 hours, and then you hope you don't die at the end of it. I hope you don't get a blood clot in your brain because you were standing at the Amazon factory. So that's why the poor love sports, right? It's kind of like their life. That's me. I used to drive cars around. I used to do DoorDash, and it's a lot like banging your head against plexiglass. So yeah, that's kind of how I understand the economy. But when you get around the rich, I think, the more the middle class sort of dies off, the more the kind of pervasive creepiness. And what is creepy? I feel like I need to define it. It's because you could say these people are evil. Okay, they're evil. So you'd say these people are out of touch. Yeah. But when I was a kid, there was just Bill Gates, okay? There was just Bill Gates. And I don't think anyone was like, yeah, he's a creep trying to rule the world. It was bubbling. Like, Alex Jones was coming up, and it was all bubbling. But everyone laughed that off, and it was countercultural. And, but now it's like, okay, yeah, they really are all creeps. Like, they're all trying to, like... I mean, the lowest sort of base form of this is the, like, stealing our blood for adrenochrome and lizard people. And I think that I'm just saying, go look at the Met Gala, okay? Like, I don't have much else to say other than it's going to get pushed out of the attention spot. It's going to get pushed out of the timeline, and people are going to forget it for another year. And people are going to talk about Trump. They're going to talk about Sam Altman. But what has happened to the culture in general, it's just like, what am I looking at, Like the sort of villains that inhabit this, like the sort of sad state of it. It's like, it's literally like the Hunger Games. Like, it's just the Hunger Games at this point. And, yeah, it's something that I think you should just look at, because it's not good, it's not good. It's something that it's deeply unsettling to view. And the adrenochrome thing, I think what I meant by that is what I think what they mean, actually, what the people who say this adrenochrome stuff and like, oh, they're lizard people, aliens, they're that's what they mean, is that it's creepy, right? Like, it's an insane accusation that's, I don't know, maybe there is some truth to it. At this point, I'll believe anything. But to say that also kind of puts the seed as in, like, these are really creepy people, right? Like, Jeffrey Epstein is a creepy guy, any way you slice it. And he's very popular. And there's a lot more like him that are very creepy people. Look up Julian Casablancas. Not Julian. Look up his father. Look up John Casablancas. Look up Jean-Luc Brunel. And there's hundreds, millions. Look up what happened to Wasserman, too, okay? Look up the team. Okay, this is what I mean. I know a little bit about this stuff. And Wasserman was caught. This was not on any news. I mean, this might have made a few local things, made a few headlines. I didn't see this on David Murr, right? I didn't see Wasserman. It's a big deal. Wasserman ran agency for like hundreds of athletes, hundreds of singers, and he would get like massages from Epstein. And this is just like all open, like, and it's like, it's so sad if you care about culture, like if you care about like Tennessee Williams and like Marlon Brando, and like, I guess it's always been there. Like, Marilyn died and stuff, and but even before that, before Marilyn, like Humphrey Bogart era stuff. You care about any of that, it's so deeply sad. It's like, I guess it's always been that way, right? But this is like, there was still decent stuff going on, and it's like I don't think anything decent has happened in like 30 years. It's like wow. Like, so look up the Wasserman stuff. Yeah, that's what I mean. The adrenochrome stuff. I think it's kind of like a shock tactic to just tell you like these people they're blue bloods, right? You have blue blood. You're like a reptile, right? And the weird sort of creation of what would be a European caste of like artists of a last generation. I don't think it's ever happened in Europe, honestly, to this extent. Like maybe in the Renaissance, like Michelangelo didn't have children, no, right? I mean, he was gay. He didn't have children. So, but these people are like, oh, the American cast of great filmmakers. It also discredits Hollywood, too, in terms of like, no one actually believes your little caste system, okay? It needs to be said that. You're not that important to your layman. In 2 generations, like, I could ask a Gen Alpha, oh, what do you think of Sofia Coppola? And she'll be like, oh, who's that? Like, what is Sofia Coppola? No, but, like, you ask a boomer, and they're like, oh, I love her father. It's like, it's not that deep, bro, okay? You're not the 6th Duchess of Cambridge, okay? You're not the queen of freaking LA, okay? And these families, these Arquettes, and it's like, it's not that deep. It's something you made up 100 years ago. It's not Europe, and even then it's gross in Europe. And it's like, it destroys talent and quality. And yeah, I mean, it's just pathetic and weird. Like, I don't like the idea of American not even oligarchy, monarchists and whatever you call an artistic monarchy of whatever this is. It's so weird. That's what I mean. It's creepy and weird. And it's so weird because it's so inorganic and new is what I'm trying to say too. Is like, that's what's weird is it's uncanny to anyone who's like over the age of 20. Like anyone who's like 30 and up remembers a world where like, yeah, the sort of families that decided their Hollywood royalty are there now. Yeah. Just off of the money made in the previous generation, by the way. That's what I'm trying to say, is like a 3rd generation of Hollywood. Like, is that what's like, oh, yeah, my dad came out here and did a MA at UCLA. And like, this is Coppola, right? Like, my dad did an MA at UCLA in 1970, and he made The Godfather. So that basically turned me into the Duchess of Culver City. It's like, what? It's just so. That's why I read Fitzgerald, right? He talks about all this stuff and the new media involved with like, I guess you could say like a Kennedy line has this kind of old. It's just so sad because that's not what's supposed to be on this continent. This continent's not supposed to be about that, in my opinion. It especially in the West. In the East they took it over, the Kennedys and the Rockefellers and the Rothschilds and all that, and it's like that's the East. But now the West is like that too, with this weird quasi, and that's what's so weird is like there's nowhere to run. You can't escape the lack of merit. You can't escape these kind of disgusting medieval vibes. And yeah, that's where I'm going to leave it. Watch the Met Gala footage and try not to cringe, and don't consume the king's culture as he throws it at you from the castle wall. And thankfully the internet exists. That's what I'm saying. I'm not a capital C conservative or anything. I'm not trying not to make a political podcast or whatever. I'm just trying to talk about my life, and I've seen these people up close, and the competitiveness is pathetic. And it's like it's so exhaustive. And it's what the thing is, it's so defeating about it is there really is like a lack of mobility in basic interactions with people, in terms of like there are just people who are young whose parents can like give them every opportunity, and when you meet these people, you're not going to change 20 years of cultivating class distinctions in their private lives via 4 years of college, right? And the colleges try, And that's why they kind of hate the colleges and why they have such a caste system about the colleges is because they don't want their kids to become lower class through a college and interacting with the proletariat, right? So that's kind of where all that goes. And it's sad because I just thought that the west of the country, at least, was the place where a misfits or a low caste person could transform themselves. And maybe it still is, maybe it isn't, but it's uncanny to see it happen in real time. This sort of consolidating of stupidity too. I mean, if it's becoming medieval, it's very stupid to not have a meritocratic system. Like, look at the Habsburgs, right? I mean, look at the Habsburgs. It's stupid, right? It's pretty stupid to give yourself a dislocated jaw, like a massive jaw, whatever, you know. It's pretty stupid to do that. But they do it in service of a stupid ideology. And, you know, I'm really not someone who believes in Nazi eugenics and ancient medieval blood practices. I don't think Sofia Coppola is talented because of her father, right? I truly don't believe that. And I think if you come from a family, like my father is a medical person, you know, and my mother is involved in medicine. And if I was to have to do that, none of the music I made would have been made. So it's very sad to see such a stupid thing take hold in this country. And it's such a stupid thing to watch the Met Gala. And that's all I got to say. Thanks.